together and say the slogan of the Homeless Union, which is homeless, not helpless.
Homeless, not helpless. Homeless, not helpless.
All right, I want to say first of all, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, Holly. I can't upstage Holly, that's for damn sure. First of all, I want to say, I want to thank the members of the media for coming out on a Saturday morning to cover this story. We're very much appreciative of that. And we'll take some questions. I think we'll take a few questions before we disperse. First of all, I want to say that today is April 1st, but we're not fooling. Last month was March, which is now known as Women's History Month, right? But you women you're making history right here in the city of Sacramento, which is the capital city of the state of California, which is the 4th largest economy in the world and has the largest number of homeless people. This is ground zero, not just for California. This is ground zero for a national and international movement for housing for all. Am I right? When I first we first were asked in, there was problems with the way things were going, and what we saw is that the most important missing element that had to be put back into any agreement that the residents would support is that they were not going to be pushed to the side, that they were going to be intended beneficiaries of this agreement, and they are, and it's expressly provided in that lease. There's no way the days are over when other parties are going to make decisions for the homeless. If you can't see that, if you haven't got that lesson by what you just heard from these outstanding women, you need to go back to school, because that's the lesson. All right, I want to just a couple more things. First of all, I also want to say we are 3 days away from an anniversary which we should all take note of, and that is April 4th. I was there in 1968. Some of us were around when Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. And I think we know why Dr. King was assassinated, because he had moved to the point in his entire fight, his entire lifelong battle for justice, to realize that it had to be about human rights for all. And he put together the Poor People's Movement. And he brought together poor blacks and poor whites and poor Native Americans and Puerto Ricans and women and men for a unified movement. And brothers and sisters, that's why he was killed. You know that that's why he was killed, right?
Right.
But today we lift up the baton from Dr. King.
That's right.
Am I right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right then. So we're happy to share with you the specific terms of this lease. Mark is absolutely correct. They cannot take this camp down until such time as every single person in this camp is provided with individual, durable, and permanent housing. And housing does not mean some shelter where there's 1,000 people all congregated together. It does not mean a pop-up tent encampment. It does not mean a sidewalk. It does not mean a street corner. It means a durable place to live like a human being. You know what I'm trying to say?
We're done with the lies.
That's right.
We're done.
So I'll just close by saying that let's be vigilant. Let's be vigilant. We're feeling good, we're celebrating, but let's not forget what Crystal told us, which is at this minute, at this moment, these police are conducting sweeps. You got county officials conducting sweeps. You got thousands of people being pushed from one dangerous place to another dangerous place.
These sweeps are
And you
violent.
guys, we know that at least 2/3 of the people here, we got declarations going back 3 years from some of you guys,
Right.
pushed from camp to camp to camp. And they say, we're not moving
10 years.
anymore.
10
It
years.
was a sit-down strike is what
10
happened
years.
over here. We're not moving one more time, and that was why it was Camp Resolution. We're resolved not to be kicked out any further until we get some actual housing. So let's stay together, let's be vigilant. This is going to be a self-governed community, I guarantee you that. They're not going to march in here and tell us what to do. They're going to sit at the table, they're going to meet with these women and their elected representatives from the Residents Council and the union, and we're going to get this thing done. Thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for setting a model and example for homeless people across the United States of America. We're going to build an alliance with people in this community. They're not going to split us up because we know they're struggling with housing. It's a working class community, am I right?
That's right.
They're not
That's
going to
right.
divide us. We know they're struggling to pay the rent and make the house note and keep a roof over their heads. No way, they're not going to divide us up. We're going to firmly get out there and say, we're together. We have the same
Right.
class interests as
Right.
working class
That's
people
right.
trying to get some housing, right?
Right.
Am I right about
That's
that?
right. That's right.
Okay, thank you, brothers and sisters. It's been a speaking personally, it's been an honor and a privilege to be brought into this process, and I ain't going nowhere now. And I hope I can continue to do what the union was created to do. All right? Okay.
Thank you.